The United States Air Force rather neglected the replacement of its tanker fleet of KC-135s. And at the beginning of this millennium really realized that something had to be done about it. And the original arrangement was a lease deal that was arranged by the Department of Defense unilaterally with Boeing. When Senator McCain discovered the details of this lease bid, he felt it was overpriced and there were further investigations. This led then to allegations which proved to be reasonably founded of corruption on the part of some Boeing officials and DoD officials. Indeed, some people went to jail as a consequence of this original lease bid. The leasing arrangement collapsed. The Department of Defense then did a competition, and Airbus entered that competition against Boeing. In 2007, I think, that Airbus was declared the winner, and many people felt that the US Air Force had looked at both aircraft and really preferred the Airbus solution. Boeing protested the award, and the GAO found some faults in the assessment process, and consequently, eventually, the United States government decided to rerun the competition, start again. At that point, many people felt that Boeing had demonstrated its political muscle, and there really wasn't much chance that Airbus would win a second round. But Airbus decided to compete, and with one or two hitches, the competition's run, and of course now Boeing have been declared the winner. Well, this is a decision that really confirms, I think, for many people, that politics still plays a very important role. Boeing campaigned politically very strongly for this contract, and were able to get the earlier award to Airbus overthrown. And altogether, I think it reflects the fact that the political strength of Boeing in the US. Some of the technical aspects of the bid really concerned the fact that the Airbus aircraft was somewhat larger and therefore needed a rather larger infrastructure in place on the ground. It could operate from fewer airfields than the Boeing offering, but not significantly fewer in many people's view. The other aspect, of course, was how much the US Air Force was willing to grant credit for the fact that the Airbus aircraft, because it was bigger, could carry and offload more fuel than the minimum that was specified in the requirement. So those two elements were there as technical factors. The US Air Force also claims to have done some whole life cost estimates, but how much reliability you can really place on those, I think, there is some grounds for suspicion about how reliable those factors are. It seems unlikely now that Airbus will appeal this decision, and that the contract will go ahead. The competition has actually been rather technically complicated, because it was quite clear from the beginning that really quite small changes to the requirement could affect which was deemed to be the better bid. Generally, I think the impression that this exercise leaves is that procurement in the United States is still predominantly a political business, especially when foreign companies are involved. Airbus have worked very hard to demonstrate that they were going to manufacture much of this aircraft in the United States, but really their political campaign of jobs with a factory based in Alabama never really got the momentum behind it that Boeing had with proven jobs in Seattle and, of course, in their supply chain across the US. And most of us feel that this is really an instance of political considerations looming very large, jobs considerations looming very large, at a time, of course, when everybody's got quite a lot of economic difficulty. I think also, though, that EADS do expect that they will be better placed in future to win American business, because, after all, by entering the competition the second time, even when many of us thought they got little chance of success, they've enabled a competition to take place, and it must be presumed that they've enabled the DoD to get better prices and better terms out of Boeing, certainly better than would have been the case had a competition not been possible if Boeing had been the sole source supplier. So maybe Airbus hope in EADS, hope in the longer term that they'll be able to get some benefit from this exercise. It's possible that European governments may take this news rather more badly than do EADS themselves, because in some ways it's really a sign that the United States is really not willing to buy European products. even when those European products seem to be superior to what's on offer in the United States. And governments may take this, as I say, may take this as a bigger sign of things than EADS. EADS are positioning themselves and still hope to sell in the US, but I think that they recognise they're going to have to invest significantly and have invested significantly in the US in manufacturing facilities there in order to be able to sell there.